Trump's World Liberty Financial drops on Monday, September 1st, and the Trump's family is stamped all over this one. Does this have face ripper potential? Today I'll be giving you the alpha of what World Liberty Financial actually is, also how to buy it, why the design could rip in the short term, where people get wrecked, and what my actual plan is. So let's dig in. Let's start with what World Liberty Financial actually is. So at its core, there's USD1, a stablecoin that's backed by treasuries and cash. But here's the kicker. Instead of sending yield back to the company, like how USDC or Tether does, that yield actually goes straight back into buying and burning the World Liberty Financial token. And that makes this token a deflationary governance token, which is tied directly to real cash flows. And of course, the branding, Donald J. Trump is listed as a co-founder, along with Eric, Don Jr., and Barron, also all listed as co-founders on this. And the Trump's family holding company, DT Marks DeFi LLC, does have a massive allocation to this token. So you've got real yield mechanics, deflationary design, and political branding, which guarantees some big headlines. And that's why this token has so many eyes on it. And let's talk about the launch setup. So World Liberty Financial goes officially live Monday, September 1st at 8 a.m. Eastern Time on just about all the big exchanges. You got Binance, Bybit, OKX, Gate, and many more listing this one. Now the token isn't officially listed on Coinbase or announced there yet, but USD1 has been listed there. So we think there's a very good chance that Coinbase will probably be listing this soon as well. And this token is based on the Ethereum chain. So you should still also be able to trade this on a DEX, a popular one like Uniswap, for example. But if you are doing this method, make sure you grab the official contract address from the official World Liberty Financial website. Also, you could look at things like CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, and you can see here that they have the contract. Right now it's a temporary one, but make sure you grab the official contract address on the Ethereum chain if you're going to be swapping this on a DEX. But of course, to be completely safe, you probably want to stick to a trusted centralized exchange. Next, let's talk about some important things that actually matter here. First, there's only going to be about 5% that's going to be unlocked at launch. So this is only a tiny portion of the full supply. Next, the pre-sale buyers do get 20% at the TGE or the token generation event. The rest is reserved for locking and vesting. And if we look at the pre-markets here, it has been trading the past few days from about the 20 cents to 35 cent range, which does put this at about a $20 billion valuation. And there's some big institutions that are fully loaded on this one too, such as DFW Labs did get in at about 10 cents. An Aqua One fund dropped $100 million at about 12.5 cents. And Alt5 Sigma committed $1.5 billion at about 20 cents. And they picked up about 7.5% of the supply, and they have another $750 million ready to go at the token launch. So with only about $1 billion available on that 5% at launch, even one single fund or institution could swallow that whole supply up instantly. Next, let's talk about some ecosystem betas you can also play. And there's two main ecosystems that are really worth watching here. The first of them being Doomite. And this is basically a lending platform that's led by World Liberty Financial's CTO. And it's positioned to be the primary money market for USD1. So if World Liberty Financial coin pumps, then Doomite becomes the DeFi backbone. The next play here is Blockstreet, which is basically branding itself as the launchpad for USD1 across all chains. And its founder is now the CIO of Alt5 Sigma, which is the same institution throwing billions into World Liberty Financial. So there's definitely some big connections here. So if World Liberty Financial squeezes, and by the way, squeezes basically means a aggressive move up or down in price. Then Doomite or Blockre could see potentially even a harder squeeze. However, on the other hand, if World Liberty Financial stumbles and starts coming down, then we can potentially see these two tokens come down even harder. So essentially, in a nutshell, these two beta plays are higher risk but higher reward. So let's talk about why this coin could potentially pump in the bull case. For one, there's a very scarce float on launch. As we said, there's only about 5% available on the launch event. Next, there's built-in buy pressure. This is with the USD1 yield and the constant buying and burning of the World Liberty Financial token. Third comes the narrative fuel behind this. With treasuries, DeFi, and the Trump name on this, it's just sitting on a silver platter for headlines. And finally, institutional ammo. Essentially, billions of dollars are lined up. And like we said, one big player could just grab all of that supply. And these all together are a setup for a monster. Now let's talk about a little bit of the risk and the bear cases here. One, a massive fully diluted valuation on launch. And we're talking about $20 billion on day one. This gives late buyers a big risk of being exit liquidity. Two, it's potentially heavy insider control. This includes the Trump family and all the institutions we named off. And these entities all have huge allocations to this. Third, the unlocked cliffs. Essentially, 80% of the supply will be locked and held over time, which causes eventual big sell pressure on the token. Fourth, the September seasonality. So September is historically a pretty weak month for crypto. And last, politics and branding risk. The Trump connection brings attention, but also regulatory and media risk. The bottom line, this token is set up to pump at launch, but it could bury retail if you FOMO in too late. So timing is everything on this thing. So here's my plan. And remember, none of this is financial advice. So I'm looking for an early entry with only 1x leverage on launch. Spot, I'm not using leverage because it's way too risky in my opinion. I'll be hopefully scaling out profits very aggressively and in parts if it pumps. And we're talking a very short time frame here. I don't know exactly what that is, day, few days, but I will probably not be holding this for a long time at all. I also will be keeping a close eye on Doomite and Blockre, as these are higher risk, higher reward beta plays, and I'm only putting in the money I'm willing to lose. So on these two, I will be taking smaller positions. So the bottom line, World Liberty Financial could be one of the craziest and wildest trades of this season, especially with the Trump narrative all around it. But this also could potentially nuke retail like we did see on the Trump meme launch not too long ago. However, I do think this token is very different than a meme launch. So drop a comment below. Are you going to be jumping in the World Liberty Financial or its two beta plays? Or maybe you have a question about this. Leave it below. And if you found this breakdown useful, please smash that like and subscribe, especially if you want more alpha like this one. Let's hunt some treasure together and see you on the next one. Cheers.